Cook County Sheriff's Department. I investigated a hate crime, May 12th of 2016. The pictures are displayed here. I uncovered this at 103rd and Woodlawn, which is the sheriff's impound lot. It consisted of a black mannequin with a makeshift noose around his neck, a simulated bullet hole in the center of his chest, similar to the circumference of a .45 caliber round, with his right hand postured as if bound. The Sheriff's Department, rather than taking appropriate police action, because prints were available on this, in particular in the base of the cone that somebody deliberately deposited in the side to secure the item, recoverable prints were present based on information and belief and could have been traced back to one of the 28 people who were rostered to work in that facility at that time. It was a closed facility, not open to the public. Everybody who worked there had undergone pre-employment background checks and therefore had fingerprints on file. This could have been traced. It never was. The person, the racist who presumably put it there, is still employed by the Cook County Sheriff's Department. Meanwhile, the African American, which is me, who reported this, the whistleblower, was terminated.
Wow.
Terminated. It gets better. The department, in order to evade its investigatory responsibility, did not perform an investigation in regards to the black mannequin. They substituted the crime scene and performed an investigation in regards to a nearby white mannequin.
Wow.
In order to set up a scenario where my credibility was undermined. Because certainly everything that I reported as being true about the black mannequin was not true about the white. It gets better. As I mentioned, they performed their sham investigation in regards to the white mannequin. That set an investigatory timetable where they completed their investigation on May 12th, 2016. The mannequin was deliberately placed on this option because it's the best of three options. Never choose the good in the presence of the better, never choose the better in the presence of the best. Our reference is totally, the sheriff's reference is totally obliterated from here. It's compromised here due to weathering. Here is a clear, pristine image with the black mannequin with the noose around his neck sending a very clear message that black lives do not matter to some elements of the Cook County Sheriff's Department. Notice the time interval, 5/12/2016. They completed the investigation in regards to the sham substituted crime scene evidence tampering. So why would the sheriff of Cook County perform a hate crime for every individual day from May 12, 2016 to May 21st, 2016? If you keep a Christmas tree up for 9 days, you're obviously celebrating Christmas. If you keep a shameful image commemorating a vigilante lynching, a race-based lynching of a black mannequin, you are celebrating white supremacy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Your shirt and your hat indicate that you value Black Lives Matter and their stance. The Cook County Sheriff's Department, and I'm demonstrable proof, does not value Black Lives Matter. And it gets better. Not only did the sheriff of Cook County perform his own individual hate crime for every individual day from May 12th, 2016 to May 21st, 2016, he fired me without a case. He demonstrably invented a case to fire me, and you won't believe the historical significance of his chief witness against me. His chief witness against me was an assistant state's attorney whose name was Daniel Groff Jr. He was the lead witness in my merit board trial that ultimately led to my termination. His father, on December 4th, 1969,
was involved in the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr.
Yes, sir. Sergeant Daniel Groff Sr., who had been identified by then State's Attorney Edward Hanrahan as being part of a secretly operating faction of the Ku Klux Klan in the Chicago Police Department at that time. And instead of Hanrahan responsibly prosecuting that person after becoming aware of that knowledge, he decided that these individuals would be the best qualified people to be the high-powered cowards that I would need to assassinate somebody in their sleep. And this sergeant led that raid, killed those brothers in their sleep, and then demonstrably filed a false police report stating that they served a lawful search warrant, announced their office, and were immediately met by a fuselage of gunfire. The only problem was, forensically, 99 rounds went into the apartment.
I called in 100 shots in the cover-up because the Panthers fired back once.
Yes, sir.
And we were police shot 99 times.
We were pissed off with what Van Dyke did. 15 shots in the cover-up.
Right.
This was 100 in the cover-up.
100 shots in the cover-up.
And similarly, his son, being his
Junior,
father's
he
child,
out here today too. He out here.
And being aware of the family business.
Right.
The father didn't believe Black Lives Matter. The son didn't believe Black livelihoods matter. And he lied in my merit board case, which led to my dismissal. And Sarge can confirm they absolutely made up a case. Absolutely made up a case.
That's true.
And if you give me your card, I could transmit to you the materials that would demonstrably prove that they made up a case to fire me. That's what the sheriff's department does under the incumbent. They on the street, bad cops put bags on people and put guns on people. Police brutality, 1 minute, Sarge. Police brutality is two-dimensional. It's vertical toward the George Floyds and the Laquan McDonalds of the world. But those individuals who possess that level of animus to dump 15 unnecessary shots into a person don't lose the animus toward that particular ethnicity among their own ranks.
I can imagine.
So police brutality is vertical and it's also horizontal. The Ku Klux Klan, people like Tom Dart.
Yes, sir.
What sitting sheriff would perpetrate a hate crime? And there is no alternate explanation, because if this thing is up for 9 days after it was originally cited by me, and you've already concluded your sham investigation by performing an investigation in reference to the white mannequin, that completed your investigation. And what underscores the completion of your investigation, there's no yellow crime scene tape here. If you're gonna have it up for 9 days, have some yellow crime scene tape around it. You're a racist, and you need to be replaced. And you have the nerve, gumption, audacity, and the gall to appeal to a black electorate, which is the foundation of the Democratic base. And you performed a hate crime against that ethnicity, you got a lot of nerve.
So my
Absolutely.
question is, do you think that all cops are racist?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I know that.
My association.
Who are you to me?
He is one of my best friends, if not my best friend. Absolutely, my association with him proves that I'm not a racist.
Right.
He is the only supervisor in my 21-year history at Cook County Sheriff's Department who's ever
Over two
been
decades
to,
of
who's ever
service.
been to my house. Usually you don't hang around your supervisors at work.
No, sir.
You deliberately avoid making contact with them and only come into contact as is necessary to perform your job function.
Yes, sir.
He's been to my house several times. Furthermore, I don't hang around supervisors at work or after work.
Right.
But I made an exception in his case. I hang around him. And everything I said about Tom Dart and his administration is demonstrably true. If you give me your materials, I'll send it to you, and I can prove everything I just said. And my association with him has nothing to do with me denigrating the Tom Dart administration. I do that because of personal knowledge and because of my experience. Who would fire the whistleblower who would point out a hate crime targeting my ethnicity?
After 2 decades of service.
After 2 decades, who would? And then the second question is, what responsible law enforcement agency charged with the responsibility of performing an investigative function bypasses that duty and fires the whistleblower in regards to an invented case using a well-known the son of a well-known historical murderer as the point of the spear in order to bring about my termination?
Corrupt.
And inventing a case to do so.
He is also my de facto campaign manager. He's doing everything he can to get the word out. Tom Dart took away all the diversion programs, which affect mainly minorities. Now, not all minorities, because diversion programs for anyone, but it seems that there are more minorities put in it than other people. Okay? He started something called the Rocket Docket, which he listed as Reasonable Bell, but Reasonable Bell has now become Zero Bell, and you got to know that all that does is put you in further danger. When you have a state's attorney that ignores the laws and they have appointed themselves dictator, when you have a sheriff who came out in the news and said, I cannot pick and choose which laws I enforce, yet he refused to evict people who weren't paying their rent, which took middle-income landlords who were just middle-income folks trying to get a little more money for their family. Now they got to pay their mortgage and the mortgage on the apartments that they're renting, and the landscaping and the taxes all got to come out of their paycheck. So we created more poor people. Nico, come here. Also want to introduce you all real quick. This is Nico. Say your last name. I don't want to mess it up.
Nico Tsatsulis.
Okay. He's running for Cook County Assessor. So if you think Frank Kagi is not being fair with your property assessment,
He's not being fair.
Okay. Well,
Why he not in jail?
This
Sent
is
to
the
the
man.
rich.
This is the man
Right.
for the job. Nick Satsoulis.
If you
Okay?
want your taxes lowered, you gotta vote for me. We gotta fight these guys who keep up taking our taxes and keep taxing us to death. Lower taxes for our properties. Nico Tsatsulis for Cook County Assessor.
Okay, give everybody y'all social media if y'all got social media. Because this is where this going at on social media.
Well, my name is just my name, Brad Sanford. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my page. I only got one video up, but now I'm going to add this one, and I got some more coming.
Oh, you got it.
Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to add videos. The more you subscribe, the more it gets out there. If you want to help out the campaign, you can contact me through Facebook. You could Messenger. Name is BRADSANDE. Well, I'll give you a better idea here. Let's just include a close-up of the card, or actually the campaign time. Get a close-up of that. You can go right here to bradforsheriff.org, and you can email me through that website if you want to help.
Good stuff.
If you want to do a fundraiser, if you want to donate, you can do all of that through this website right here, bradforsheriff.org. Thank you for giving us a moment of your time.
And you can also route to me as well as the candidate for Cook County Assessor through that, buy-in through that website.